Morning, people, and as per usual, I'm actually not starting this video in the morning because it is 22 minutes past 2 on this beautiful Tuesday, and I still have a video for tonight, and I didn't upload one last night, so I figured I might as well do one today. However, what's a video that I could film fairly quickly and edit fairly quickly to get it up, but that would still be really interesting for you? Well, I've decided a Porsche 911 Carrera RS in-depth review type thing. So I'm just doing some research now on the car myself so that I know some stuff. But this is probably going to be a funny type of in-depth review because I don't actually know too much about classic cars, and I'm a huge car guy, but I'm not too good with facts. So I'm basically just going to tell you how the car feels and looks from the outside. But I figured, why not? It's a really, really, really special car. They say here it's gone up 700% in the last decade in value. So that probably makes it pretty special. And one of the cars that's gone up in value the most in the last decade, something like that. So it's cool. And the car, in case you're wondering, is not mine. It belongs to @itswhiteNoise. Great people to follow on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff. They have some amazing cars, so go follow them everywhere. I'm keeping the car for them and using it for a little while. So yeah, why don't we go upstairs, get the car out of the garage and get this video started, shall we? So then, here's the Twizy, which has recently been cleaned, and that's got the It's White Noise sticker on the back as well right there. Here are the cars. We've got Shmoo 150's FF, which is still here, and here she is, the RS. So, hasn't been out in a little while, so I'm gonna start her, let her run for a bit. Sound like Sab Kyle right there. Start her up, let her run. Hey, not funny. Start her up and then bring her out here and then give you guys a full tour of the car. So at this point you're seeing me taking the cover off of the RS, which is a fascinating thing to look at. But what's about to happen is kind of funny because as soon as I thought I was safe in my own garage, bloody thing decided to shut on me. And I was terrified. Yes, that actually happened. That was slightly terrifying. There you go, cover off then. If you were ever wondering what the key for a 2.7 RS looks like, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special. Of course, no central locking or anything. You have to do it one door at a time. Boom. Then you open her up. Jump in. I'll give you a full tour of the interior as soon as she's outside. Perfect startup. Couple weeks no starting and now running just fine. That's why you trickle charge these cars, guys. It is so bright, but I'm gonna leave the car running for the first half of this tour probably. This in-depth review, whatever you want to call it, because I just want to let the car run for a little while. Every couple of weeks, start it up, let it run. So I'm using this opportunity to do that. Here she is. So 1973 2.7 RS. So effectively I'm just going to walk around the car and give you all of the details. This is going to be an interesting one. What do I know about this car? I know that in order to race them in Le Mans, they had to make 500 street legal ones. So I assume they then made 500. I don't know, maybe they made more, but I know they needed to make minimum 500. So there must be about 500 of these in the world. Other things I know it's a Porsche, and I know the engine is clearly in the back, but I also know it has 210 horsepower, and this apparently is one of the only black ones, and the black and red, I think, looks insane, especially with the red rims. These are what they call the Fulks, something like that. I'm gonna get murdered for getting that name wrong. Rims, which are very, very, very special for these old cars, and to be perfectly honest, they do still look really cool. I know some modern Porsches try and replicate this, and also a lot of, obviously, the replica old Porsches replicate these rims, but these are original ones. Everything on this particular car is original as well, this It's White Noise RS, so it's the original paint. It doesn't have, I mean, it's not the cleanest right now, it's alright. It doesn't have any paint protection, anything like that. It's 100% original. Original rims, interior is all original, original engine, original clutch, gearbox, everything. So that is pretty gangster. Some of the differences from the RS to the Carrera of that time, I know the suspension is different. I know they made it wider at the back here. The wheel arches are quite a lot more pronounced than on the normal Carrera. That's a typical RS thing. The thing that impacts you the most visually though is this ducktail spoiler. Now this is a real classic, and that's how people know. Obviously you got Carrera RS written here as well. But mainly when people see the ducktail spoiler and the little 2.7 here, they know you mean business, because these things now have gone up. Apparently they're like over around £600,000 now, something like that. I don't know, a lot of money. It does look, it is one of those cars which, it is very small, it is tiny. When you see it in person, you realize how small it is, but also it looks so much better in person than on photos, I think. I mean, obviously it looks really nice in photos, but in person you're just like, whoa, that's special. And it just looks so classy. When you're driving it around, people are just looking at you and you literally feel like a rock star. One other thing worth noting with lots of these old cars, when you use them now, they're just a complete pain. Like I've heard horror stories of Jaguar E-Types or Lamborghini Miura, blah, 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 that never really work. I'm not sure, maybe they do. I don't really know much about classic cars. Those are just two that came to mind. This, however, I mean, touch wood. Is there wood anywhere? There we go. She runs absolutely beautifully. Yes, us car people do refer to these cars as she, as you would a yacht probably, but hey ho. Every time I've taken her out, I haven't had any mechanical problems, anything like that, so been running absolutely beautifully. Clutch is really not that bad. Well, I mean, no power steering or anything like that, but neither does the Twizy, so I'm used to no power steering. But when you're driving it around, honestly, this is one of those classic cars where, yes, it is old. You get all of the benefits of an old car in terms of the style, the noise, the character, and also just the driving experience, but you don't necessarily get the negatives of, I mean, I've sat in traffic in it and it's been completely fine. You don't always have to worry. You're not like, oh, will it start up today? It always starts up. It's always not a problem. I mean, you have to treat it, obviously, you need to, you know, trickle charge it, start it every couple of weeks and treat it with respect and stuff. But as long as you hold your end of the bargain up, you can count on the car to hold its end of the bargain up. Just gonna stop the car. It's been running for a little while now. There we go. Silence. Interior wise, what do you get inside? So one thing that shocked me at first when I first saw this car is you get electric windows. Who would have thought? This must be one of the first cars that had electric windows. Another thing you get very kindly, you get It's White Noise that leave you a pair of sunglasses. Thanks for that. I still got them. They haven't moved. But it does have, I'm not sure if this will come off on camera, but all of this is just the most beautiful old leather, and it has this smell inside this car, which is insane. You got your door handle there that you pull, cubby hole there, cubby hole here. You've got, in this one, whatever you call this stuff, I'm not sure, the old styled seats. I'm sure there's a name that I don't know, but these are all original seats. Everything is all original. Look, original leather, it's just absolutely beautiful. The seats are also, they're quite small, which is nice for me because I'm like the size of half a human being. So when I go around the corners, they hold me in quite nicely, but they are very snug and so cushiony. When you sit down on that, it's literally like sitting down on an old sofa is kind of what it feels like. What I quite like is it's so open here, so the pedals, when you're sitting as the passenger, you can look down and just see what the driver's doing. So when he's heel and towing and all that sort of stuff, you can really see the efforts the driver's putting into driving the car, which is kind of cool. With modern cars, you just can't really see any of that. All you see is him just flicking paddles on the steering wheel. So it's not quite the same experience. A couple of other sneaky little things. This is the boot release, the front. So I'll show you that. But in the front here, you have a massive boot. Obviously you got a bag with a Carrera RS on it. But the boot is really, really big. We got, oh look, It's White Noise sticker right there. Anyone want an It's White Noise sticker? Come and pick it up anytime. That is the boot, a lot bigger than the modern 911s. As you know, I had a 991 in LA for a while, and this boot is about twice the size of that on the new ones. And also completely different. In the new car, it's sort of just going deep at the front, but then there's nothing at the back. This is sort of the whole way through. But anyways, yes, enough of boot space and stuff like that. One thing which took me a while to find at first was the fuel filler cap release thing. That is here. This little cheeky thing that you pull, and boom, there you go. but that took me a while. I couldn't find that at first, and I didn't want to pull. You know, you're worried everything will be fragile just because it's a classic car, but then you remember that this is actually a Porsche and nothing really is fragile. It all works as if the car was, well, I wouldn't say new, but you know, basically in perfect condition, which this one is. Then what else do we have? This is for the light. So you pull this out and the lights switch on and off accordingly. So we'll leave those off because that will kill the battery. Obviously you got your hazards right there. There you go. Look at these indicator stalks. They're like tiny little, really funky little things. I'm actually going to sit inside the car so I can show you more detail. What else do we have? We have the steering wheel, which is obviously really nice and big, but really sort of thin rim. Obviously in the same leather as on the door panel I was talking about earlier. So really, really nice leather. The honk is there, you press it, sort of like modern Ferraris. Look at just the quality and the condition of this. Is literally, this is all feels brand new. And it smells just so nice in here. What do we have? We have our fuel levels, oil, temperatures, everything. Revs right there. Kind of funky thing in this car, when you are changing gear, the revs sort of float around all over the place. You have no idea what sort of revs you're doing. But it does add character to the car. You got your speed, and then you got a clock, which is kind of nice. Down here you got your gear lever, gear shifter, gear whatever, which is lovely. It is very nice and very communicative, which is lovely. Nice little gear knob as well. 5 gears on this one, all the way to the right and down for reverse. You got your choke and everything, but then you've got your handbrake, which is perfectly easy to use as well. You've got a fire extinguisher under here. There we go, proper race car style, like in a 458 Speciale, that kind of thing. You would get one of those as well. I'm such a young little racer boy that compares everything to modern cars. I don't know what this does, but something. You got your cigarette lighter socket, which is useful for the trickle charger. Then we've got our glove box right there, with a hat, bonnet thing, some headphones, some sunglass cases, a couple receipts. Then the seat here, a lot less used than the driver's seat, but still the same original seat with the same door with the cubby holes and everything. This one has a sunroof. I don't know how to open it though. Maybe that's this. Maybe that is this. I don't know. I've never opened it, but I mean, I assume you can. You must be able to. And then it being in a 911, you obviously have back seat. I don't think, no, they don't have seat belts. So the people in the back are pretty much screwed if there's an accident, but this is basically a race car, so surprised they even are back seats. To be honest, in the modern ones there aren't. But yes, still with the same leather and everything, looking all fancy. Let's check out the engine bay back here. Oh, what a beauty. This is so much, you see so much more than you do on the modern 911s. I mean, at least on the 991 that I had, you would open this and literally you would just see like a Porsche logo, and that was the only thing you could see. Whereas here, you can properly look inside and see the whole thing. It is badass. You engine people are probably very much sexually excited right now by this, because this is basically engine porn right here. Anyways, there we go. Thank you. I think that's pretty much it for the tour. I can't think of anything else I can really show you on the car. Oh, one thing some people often ask, what are the tires? There you go, 225/60 R15 Continental Premium Contact 2, whatever that means. I do not know that much about tires and compounds and stuff, but there you go, at least now you know that. But yes, it's amazing to have this car, to be able to drive it, and everything is sublime. Look at that could be a massive wing right there. That looks pretty badass. But yes, there we go. There's an in-depth tour of the car. I've now got to rush inside, edit this and upload it in time for you to watch it in a couple of hours. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As per usual, I'm going to be doing a full review with me driving this car probably at some point when I find the time. As most of you know, YouTube isn't the only thing I do, so I'm juggling with this and other work. So when I get the time, I shall do a video on that. But I'm trying my best to post as many videos for you as possible. Any videos you want to see with this Twizy would be cool as well. And then I think I'm trying to convince Tim to come back so we can drive the FF for a little while and do some videos with that. But yeah, there we go. There she is. There's the 2.7 RS in-depth review. sort of walk around type thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed being able to do this for you. I feel like a very lucky bunny to have access to this car. And I'm just going to leave you, I think, with a startup at the end of this video. I'll put the camera behind the car and start the car up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As per usual, please remember to subscribe, and I'll be back very soon. Bye! Proof that this car is also a proper sports car is this, right here. I got 2 seatbelts. That means this thing's proper. Why I have 2 seatbelts, I do not know.